Good evening. It's another Wednesday night with Saltwater, and welcome to For Anglers, the digital platform that keeps fishing alive. We are speaking to Tish and some of her saltwater anglers again. So welcome everybody. Welcome Tish.
Hey Werner, and thanks for having us. Chilly night in Durban. It's 22 degrees outside, so yeah, we got to hunker down. But tonight we are so stoked because welcome to all the viewers, and we hope you're safe out there. And yeah, we chuffed to introduce to you Southern Cape and Protea angler, Zuluk fisher, Xander de Beer. Welcome to the show.
How's it, guys? And thanks for having me, Tish and Werner. It's a privilege.
Tish, before we speak further to Xander, just tell us a little bit of an update on the sardines. What is happening? How's it going?
Yeah, look, at the moment, I mean, with these fronts, I don't think the sardines the last time they were still in Transkei, and the wind was so strong that they in Mozambique. No, I'm just joking. But no, the ocean has been a little bit on its head. So, you know, hopefully when it settles down, there's enough cold water coming up from the Cape. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. It's one of those things. But, I mean, we've already had like a bumper sardine season. I think it will continue for another couple of weeks, yeah.
Oh, well, that's excellent. Please remember to get some good footage when you are down at the beach.
I might just share it with you as well. But anyway, so yes. But before you get the muzzle on my mouth again, lots of questions to ask, Xander, so I'm going to jump straight into it, and we're going to start straight on with the photos as well, because the first question literally is, how old were you when you started fishing? And when I saw this photo, I told you, oh my word, you were so sleeping. Tell us about this.
Well, Tish, ever since I can remember, I started fishing. So there's not a day that I can't remember or that I can remember that I didn't fish. So ever since I could walk, I was handed a fishing rod and I fished. So yeah, this is quite a rememberable catch, or a very special catch of mine. As you can see, it's a nice cob, but what happened the whole day is there's always a story behind the story. So as a lighty at this stage, I think I was 15 or something. For spending money, I used to go out on the boat and then catch a bit of hake with my dad and them, and then buy fishing tackle with that. So we just came from the water, a whole day out on the water. We launched at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We came back, and then there was this one guy in Stilbert I used to fish with, Mark Eden, and he stopped at my house while I was still in my commercial fishing clothes. And he said, well, he's going fishing. And I said, my dad, well, that was in the days of a custom built rod. So he just had a new custom built rod. And I said, well, I'm going to test it tonight. I'm going to make a try. So I took my clothes off, put my shore-based fishing clothes on, and I went fishing. And yeah, first throw I was into this cob. And landed the cob and went home. That was it. So, but yeah, it was a beautiful fish. And the water was icy cold. It was a extremely strong cob. Thinking back of it, when I hooked the fish, I almost thought it was a 30-40 kilo bronzy as it steamed off, but it was a beautiful fish.
Absolutely beautiful fish. And you have, look, there's quite a few photos coming up now where you have put in so much, either as coach or as guide. But before we talk about that, and while we look at the stunning photo of the Western Province ladies, yay, go ladies! When did you start fishing for Southern Cape? How old were you when you started fishing for Southern Cape?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Protea. He was a legendary Protea angler back in the 90s. And I was, I think, about 12 when he saw me fishing on a harbour wall, catching stripies and garantine or whatever I could get my hands on. And he approached me and my dad and said, well, let's get him into competitive angling. And 2 weeks later, I was standing on the beach with the likes of Dino Menezes and some other guys that they all grew up before you. And so it was in 12, I was fishing my first trials, and at 13, I fished my first nationals for Southern Cape.
Xander, tell us a bit about this. I mean, landing one of these fish on rocks, like I can see in the background, I can't imagine to be an easy task. What happened here?
Yeah, Tish, this is one of probably the most foul spots that you'll ever fish, or you don't think you're going to make a throw for a bronzy here. And a couple of years ago, we started fishing for big bronzies here, and there's a beach to the right hand side, about a K down. And we usually go and land them there. But this was a male. This is the biggest male bronzy that I've caught. It was 146 kilos or something, which is ridiculously big for a male. And they're stubborn as hell. And just the area where I landed it and how I had to play and I think the fish to land it was just an incredible experience.
Absolutely phenomenal. Now, what bait would you use in a situation like that? We're coming back to this one just now, but that bronzy, what bait would you have used for that? What did you
I
use?
used a soda head with like 2 or 3 cutlets around it, like a big mushy bloody whaley bait.
Oh, beautiful. Now, you have a thing for, and you are very passionate, I know, as an angler, and when it comes to coaching or being a guide for anyone. And you told me earlier today that this was one of your special moments. Tell us about this moment.
Tish, I've always had a soft spot for junior anglers and to put back into angling what I've got out of it. This was just one of those moments. It was the last day and the last hour. And Dante, in his previous nationals, he missed his Protea colors with like one position. And he knew he was really close on making it into the under 16 side. And can you believe it? That's under 16 lighty hugging me there. And there was an hour left and he was a bit despondent. So I walked up to the manager and I said, well, let's go and find Dante a spot. And with basically just an hour left, we got to the spot and it looked really beautiful. And I just phoned him and I said, come bring a tackle. And I sat down next to him, not help him build the bait, but cut here, do that. And wade in here and see that little sand puffing, that's where you should throw. And first throw, as he got back, he was on and he got a 9-kilo cob. And the moment was so overwhelming that, it tickled the feels. And he almost like, he burst out of tears of joy. And he just hugged me and, thank you, Xander, thank you. And the very next throw, he got a gully shark of 18 kilos. And while we were measuring the fish, it was lines up. And those 2 fish made him win the tournament as well as to make his Protea side for the very first time. So a very special moment in my angling career, definitely.
Absolutely phenomenal. Now, you've not just guided, you've guided for the Protea. This is the Protea under 21 team, I think, when they were as well. Or, sorry, coach.
Yeah, I was coaching in Namibia. Yeah, this is my first year as coach for the under 21s. And we had a fantastic tournament. We won by like 600 or close to 700 points. But this fish in particular was really special because Johan was pulled off. I don't know if you know mile 8, the sandbank. He was pulled off the bank and Staker said, well, that lighty is in trouble. You should go and help. And I said, no, man, it's fine. And then I was looking at the wrong lighty and I had to look another 200 meters into the water. And there's Johan floating. And you can see both of us are wet. So I didn't even have a chance to take off my jacket or take off my pants. So I just remember wading in and then swimming towards him. And he was floating with his gumboots on the surface and the rod just trying to hold onto this fish. And I remember just shouting at him, flip over your bail, flip over your bail. I'm not going to phone your dad and tell him that you drowned. And he said, no, I'm okay, I'm okay. So I was just floating around him, trying to find a rock. And I'll find a rock and call him, okay, stand here, fight. And then I'll swim, find another rock. And that's how we progressed. Like probably we were about 200 to 250 meters into the water, into the open ocean. So trying to find a rock, stand on the rock, fight further, swim, find a rock. And then, and eventually we landed the fish. And that fish also made him win the junior division in the under 21 side.
What is the biggest thing that you get out of guiding or being a coach? And this particular is a phenomenal photo because AJ literally looks like a 12-year-old there. For one brother in this photo to be the guide for the team where your brother is fishing, and it must be absolutely amazing. Tell us a little bit about this competition. I think it was a national tournament.
Yeah, it was the national stage. I can't remember if it was 2013, 2014, that year when we fished Struisbaai twice, 2 years in a row. And I had a little gap where life interfered with my fishing, so I had to withdraw from nationals. And this was my first season back. as fish and to fish competitively. I've always been involved, but this was my first year back as fishing. So I went as the guide / reserve if something should happen. And yeah, we had an absolute blast of a tournament. Yeah, we won 4 days in a row, and it was just an incredible experience. And to guide AJ, my brother, brothers, one always thinks he's smarter than the other. So, it's quite, you need to be tactical working with your boat.
I can imagine it's a challenge, absolutely. And this is a photo of the two of you. I mean, both as, Protea anglers. And I can't believe that you haven't been in one team together. It's always been at different times for the two of you.
Yeah, juniors, we missed each other with 1 year when I still fished under 18s juniors. And the year that I turned 21, they introduced under 21s. So then AJ fished under 21 still, and he made the side, and I couldn't fish. And then over in seniors, your mid-20s is your most difficult times in life. You don't know where you are. You're adult or you're a child, and you need to start settle in, find your work. And I took a 5-year gap from competitive angling, but still guiding and coaching and all sorts of stuff, but not just fishing. So I didn't have the time to attend all the nationals and do my own fishing and stuff. So yeah, but it's hopefully bound to happen in the near future, hopefully.
It is a beautiful photo. Now tell us about the love of your life. And I would think twice before you answer here, because
my wife, she met me fishing addict, so she knows all my good and my bad. And she's always been supportive of my sport, and it's never gotten, or our relationship has never put any pressure on fishing, or my fishing putting pressure on our relationship, and we just fully support each other. And as you can see in this photo, we were still young and in love. Now we're still just in love, but this was there was just a special catch as well, because we were on a holiday in the West Coast, and I've got a very special place for the West Coast, but we had terrible weather in the West Coast. And we came back from holiday, still on holiday. So we were in Vleesbaai, and my first throw back in the Southern Cape, I was supposed to have a braai and a sundowner with the girlfriend at that stage. And that turned into me nearly drowning and landing this duckbill of 80 kilos. So yeah, it's a very special moment as well.
Xander, if I look at the background there, it's not the easiest beach to land this on.
No, this was actually hooked on the rocks, about a K from where we took the photo. So it was just me and her, and I had the fish in a landable position after like 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but there was no one there was no one to land the fish for me, and I didn't want to land the fish on those rocks, because you will cut it and it will damage the fish. So it was more important for the fish to get it to the beach and to land it. But as you can see, the rocks in the back doesn't make it too easy. And my left knee and my leg is a bit of blood on that, but you can't see it in this photo. I remember she was taking a video of me fighting this fish, and then Wimmy got to her and he said, "Hoe hou jy harde?" And she said, "Yeah." And then at one stage she stopped recording, and I asked her, "Why did you stop recording?" She said, "No, I don't want to film when you die." So it was quite a story. Yeah.
If we move on to it seems to be running in the family, because this love for the ocean, this love for being outside, and the love for catching the fish. So tell us a little bit about this photo.
It's like, for me, fishing is more than just fishing, and it's not just about catching. It's a sport, it's a passion, it's something that you can share with your family and your friends. And I just like to take my kids with and share my experiences with them, and then ultimately teaching them about the ocean, about nature. And they just absolutely love the ocean and nature. Yeah, that's Xander. I reckon he's about 2 years old here.
Yeah, and that's when he started fishing, and I think he outfishes you and AJ on a regular basis now.
Yeah, he does. Keeps us busy.
This is a stunning photo. Where was this taken?
This is at just past the Lapa in Dwarskerksbos in the West Coast. We love to go on holiday in the West Coast, and I like it a lot as well because I can take the lighty fishing there. And you know the West Coast, it's ideal, that stretch of beach for small lighties to fish. It's perfect. And they at that age, I think he was 4 or something. He can bite up himself and he can throw himself. He can do everything himself. And I can learn him to read the water with the little brown patches where to throw and stuff. And that's exactly what he did. And he got that beautiful eagle ray on his first throw that day.
I think he's going to outfish you pretty soon. Please, this is absolutely, I can't get over the colors on this fish. Tell us a little bit about, because it's also, once again, not the easiest fish to land, not the easiest fish to target, not the easiest, especially on those conditions, rocks, as you seem to like the rocks for some other reason.
Yeah, I grew up in the rocks, like with edible fishing and stuff. So I feel at home when I'm on the rocks, but I do enjoy surf fishing as well.
You're targeting a thresher shark when you, or were you just
well, I had a thresher in the back of my mind that day for later in the day because I waited for the tide to push. But I went down to fish for smaller bronzies, maybe a hammerhead or so. And typical of an angler, I'll keep on the light race and I'll change later when the tide starts to push. And then, because it was the time of the year for threshers and we had a good southeast and the water temperature was a bit down. So it was ideal for them. I just thought, okay, well, with the tide pushing, I'll actually then target one and throw for one. And then my very first throw, still on the low tide, 5 minutes in my cast, all hell broke loose, and I just saw this fish on the surface, and I was into this thresher, and it's truly an amazing fish and spectacular to watch.
Xander, tell us a little bit about this and the way it fights, and what do you have to do? And I guess many anglers make big mistakes with these fish. So what is the golden rule?
You need to balance your hook size in relation with your hook size with your bait. So you can't go too heavy for them. And this is actually a shark that you need to go heavy because they jump, and you can see that long tail of it. It just thrashes and it breaks your leader and it jumps. So once you hook it, it is extremely fast. It is so fast that your line goes left, and you just see it jump. It jumps on the right hand side, so it makes a hell of a bow in the water. So fast is it, and you can't fight it with too tight of a drag. So once it has one of those energy bursts, you just need to unloosen and let it go so it settles. And once it's settled, it uses so much energy in that time that it tires them out, and then the battle is won. If you can survive that first 2 minutes, your chances of landing it is very good.
And how long to land this one?
Probably about 20 to 25 minutes, I reckon. They're strong, but they use so much energy with those jumps and aerial displays and thrashing on the water that they quickly tire themselves out. So you just need to survive that.
Do you use a longer leader or something different than normal?
No, I stick to the braided leader. The only difference that you really do when you fish for these threshers is you make a trace a bit longer, and you use quite a biggish surfboard foam to lift your bait up, because I like to feed in mid-water.
Let's move on to the next photo because yes, so there's a specific fish that you have more photos of these fish than any other that I've seen, and I know it's one of your favorite fish to target. So number one, I have to say, what would your ultimate bait be when you decide to target a duckbill? And how many have you caught? Like a gazillion, I'm sure.
It's a secret. No. The first go-to bait would be an octopus. They love octopus. Second to that will be chokka or squid. Generally, when you fish for duckies, the water is a bit cleaner, and the squid gets charred by the glass oppies and all sorts of peckers and stuff. So the chokka just lasts a bit longer, and they've got a sweet tooth for octopus.
Do you put the okke hole, or do you just put the leg, or how do you do that?
It all depends on the size of the octopus and how far you need to throw to get to the bank or into the rib. And it's all about, once again, about the balance of where you need to throw and how big the bait is and how far you're able to throw it. But generally, I like to use like a bigger octopus, and then use like 1 or 2 legs, and then build a bait out of that, and then fish for the duckbill.
So we could possibly ask you to share with us a video on how to prepare bait, that like your ideal bait that you would do for a duckbill to lure one of them, and so that we can share it on this platform.
Absolutely, I will do that for you guys, definitely.
Well, let's move on. Oh, and this is a stunning photo once again of the 2 brothers, because I see you oaks fish together quite a lot. But yeah. So first of all, I mean, Xander, while we're looking at this stunning photo, I'll ask you this one first. Just tell us a little bit about Camp Yetu, because I mean, I just hear about it and I just dream it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Tish, it is exciting. It is out of this world. Really, the experiences I've had there is, well, I don't know. I've lost my words when I think about the place, because it's so amazing that you can think that there's still places in the world that has that quantity and quality of fish. And I've had my bad times there with terrible weather and stuff, but it is so unique. The landscapes and how the river is formed and running parallel with the beach, and the exotic species that you catch there. It's just simply amazing, because you have it's something out of the norm, and I have a passion for artificials, to fish with artificials as well, and that you can do there the whole day, and that's what I love about it. And you can target fish from tarpon to cabura snappers, jack revels, corvinas, or African croakers. It's just something out of the norm, not fish that you're going to catch every day or see every day in South Africa. And it's really not that far away, or such a big mission to get there. And that's what I love about it.
Is it really like the river comes parallel to the sea and you can sort of fish both sides?
Yeah, the Camp Yetu is situated at the mouth of the Rio Longa river. So Longa obviously means long, and Rio means river. And the river is, I think it's 700 or 600 kilometers long. So it runs in the heart of Angola. And then as it gets to the coast, it turns south. Let me just get my bearings straight now, because we're on the west coast of Africa now. And then it turns south, and then it runs for about 15 kilometers parallel with the beach. And it's just, you don't need a vehicle there. You just use, the river is your road. So you use the boat and you cruise up and down on the river, and it's just a 50, 60 meter walk, and you over the dune or over the little sand beach and onto the ocean. And it's amazing. That water is, it's about 28 degrees coming out of that tropical system. It's amazing. And you think that those fish won't be as strong with that warm water, but they are incredibly strong. I don't know if it's got to do with all the minerals and stuff that comes from the roots from the forest and stuff, but it's definitely nutrient rich, and that's what gives the water that coke blackish color. And it's something totally different from what we used to.
Do you only fish with artificials there most of the time?
I do. The clients that I take there and people that go with me, they from time to time throw baits, but I use that to just fish artificials. I want to catch every species possible there on artificial, and that's the challenge for me, and I just love it.
And that snapper that you caught, was that, and it's all shore-based angling? I mean, yes. It's not as. Yes. And how much did it weigh, the weight of it? Because it's a phenomenal fish.
If I remember correctly, it was something between 25 to 28 kilos or some 25 kilos, odd kilos. But this was my very first snapper in Angola on our first trip there. So I just saw all these videos of Kibera snappers, and they truly are the pit bulls of the ocean. They're so aggressive, and they've got mean teeth on them. And I thought, well, if I can catch one of these fish on this whole trip, my trip will be made. And then I caught this fish on the second day while chasing a shoal of bait fish. And yeah, my trip was instantly made. Yeah, and then actually 2 days later, I caught even a bigger one. Yeah, so yeah, they're stunning fish.
So then also just because I'm running out of time and Werner is going to kick me off pretty soon so he can ask all his questions, which, yeah, whatever. But tell us before I hand over to him, tell me a little bit about Zulu, that ZLF there behind you, hashtag. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I used to work as a financial advisor at Old Mutual, and then I moved over as a broker consultant in Old Mutual. Can you imagine me that? Yeah, I've done that for I think 5 or 6 years, and then ultimately, like every angler or passionate angler, your work gets in the way of fishing. So I just decided to resign and then to make my passion my work. And now I don't work; I just follow my passion. So yeah, that's where Zuluk started. Zuluk, a lot of people ask me where the name comes from, but that was my dad's boat back in the day. It was called Zuluk, and so I started the brand Zuluk Fishing. Started a chartered fishing company, as well as a YouTube channel to share my experiences with every angler in South Africa. And yeah, it's just sharing my passion and experiences.
So I mean, if there's any angler out there that would love to, go and get some information and have a bit of guidance when it comes to fishing, I think you normally take clients, well, you take clients to Camp Yetu and to Struisbaai or Southern Cape, wherever they want to go, or what?
Yeah, I generally, locally, I operate between Struisbaai and Plet. Do a lot of my guiding in Stilbaai, Bochumsbaai, Vleesbaai, Gourits. And if clients want to go to Angola or have a bit of more of a something else experience, then Angola is definitely the way to go.
I'll put that on my to-do list. And my husband will put getting a divorce on his to-do list. But anyway, so now I'm going to hand you over to Werner because I know he's going to come with his questions, and it doesn't involve drone fishing, I promise you.
Actually, as I was sitting listening here, I just wanted to spend some time on Zuluk and on the guiding. And so I'm not going to do my usual quick fire questions. I've actually got some questions on the guiding. What are the special, or maybe can you share 1 or 2 special guiding trips that you've done that will stay with you forever, where the client has actually walked away extremely happy and there was this special moment for the client? Anything that you can recall?
Yeah, I have a group of youngsters. It's 2 brothers, and then occasionally they bring a friend with. Now for them, fishing is easy. You just throw a bait in the water and you catch a fish. Because every single trip with those lighties it's just incredible. We catch a lot of fish. The Xander, we want to catch 100 kilo raggy. We go and we throw and we catch 100 kilo raggy. Xander, I want to catch this, and it just happens so that the weather is just absolutely perfect. So there's one trip, they said no, they want to go and target cob. I said no, okay, let's go, and I take them to catch cob. And there's the eldest of the 2. His first 2 throws, he got 2 cob of 6.8 kilos and 6.2. Both of us 6.8 kilos. And then as the tide started to push, I was watching this little bank working for a cob, and it looked really nice for a cob. And I had my paddle tail rod with me, and I walked with my paddle tail towards this bank because I never fish with my clients, but I've grown to be comfortable with these okies, and they asked me to fish with them. And then as I walked to the bank with the paddle tail to throw it, I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to do it, because what if I catch a fish that one of them could have caught, And then I turned around and I put the paddle tail rod down. I took the rod and I threw it onto the bank with a small okie leg. And 15, 20 minutes of standing, waiting, whatever, I just see the rod being flattened. And yeah, this kid lands a cob of 52 kilos
Yeah.
on a massive fish on the exact same bank that I was planning to throw the paddle tail on. But to see the light on a youngster's face like that they can't. I think that's why I love it. I like the reactions about when people catch a fish that I ultimately dream of, and then it happens and they can't believe. Well, the look on the faces is just it's priceless. So it's something money can't buy.
Okay, let's look at the other side of the spectrum. What is the most embarrassing moment that you ever had with a client?
This also happened with a group of youngsters. I had all the moms and dads on the beach. So they were sitting there with a cooler and some snacks and stuff. So they thought, okay, now they're going to treat the kids for a fishing outing for the day. So now I have my whole pep talk about this is how you handle the rod, and you don't put it in the sand, and watch out for this and for that, the normal things. And then I bait up for everyone, and I told them, no, the weather looks lekker, we're going to catch some fish. And then the very first throw, when I waded in, I threw my rod in half.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily I had a spare rod with me, but that was a bit embarrassing after giving them a pep talk about how expensive my gear is and they should look after it.
Well, at least you can say you caught a snapper.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. One day, one place, one rod, one reel, one bait, and one species. What will it be?
Probably struisbaai, duckbill, de mond, octopus.
Okay. Easy answer.
Yeah.
Can see that pat. The duckbill is right inside of him, Tish.
I love that species.
And at the Mont, at the Mont, in Struisbaai, you cannot get better than that. If you haven't been there yet, honestly, do yourself a favor. Just as soon as this lockdown and whatever nonsense is completed, and get down to Struisbaai. It is one of the most amazing, Xander, and I'm sure you will agree with me. For anybody, whether you are an advanced angler, whether you are a beginner angler, Struisbaai is the place that would, surely give you all the options.
It for most adverse conditions, you can catch really good fish there, and that's what makes it such a awesome venue. There's so many options whether you have a 5 meter sea or 1.5 meter sea, you can catch some quality fish there.
Well, that's great. Thank you for bringing in a very interesting angler to us. And Xander, thank you for your time. We look forward to have a couple of interesting videos from your side, and we will definitely support Zulu.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Tish. It was awesome for me to be with you guys.
To all the viewers, and remember, if there are any questions, you can ask them or PM or whatever. And if you want to hook up with Xander at Zuluk Fishing, just go and check out on Facebook or YouTube videos by the dozen.
Well, that's it. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and thank you for watching. And remember, you guys out there, you are awesome, and stay safe.